What shape is the Earth? It's a globe, of course. Everybody knows that. But how do you know that? Well, I just know. Oh, right, but how do you know? Well, it's what we were taught at school, right? Yeah, I suppose so. So is everything you were taught at school true? Well, no, probably not. So how do you know the Earth is a globe then? Well, there are loads of photos of it in books. Yeah, you mean this photo? Yeah, that's the one. Told you it was a globe. Uh, doesn't look like a globe on that picture though, does it? Yes, it does. What do you mean? Have you gone mad? Well, if it's a globe, then it's a sphere. So wouldn't there be some sort of shading around the edges? Yeah, I guess so. Maybe it's just perfectly in line with the sun. All right. What are the chances of that? Well, also, are those clouds actually real? And why is that continent in the middle so big? Not sure. I guess now you pointed it out, it does look a little odd. Also, where are all the stars? Guess they aren't bright enough to be seen in the picture? Oh, right. Well, I know that on a clear day in a field with no light pollution, I can see loads of stars in the sky, and that's through the Earth's supposed atmosphere. Oh, yeah. I suppose that is a little odd. What about this picture then? Okay, so you are assuming that we went to the moon then? Oh, yeah. It was on TV, and there's loads of video footage of it and photographs. Yeah. And do you know that all of those are genuine? Well, it's from NASA, isn't it? So there must be. Oh, right. Well, there are quite a few anomalies with the moon landing videos and pictures, you know. Incorrect light angles, size, proportion issues, perspective issues. You should check out the documentary called Kubrick's Odyssey in particular. What? As in the film director, Stanley Kubrick? What's he got to do with the moon landings? Yes, Stanley Kubrick. A lot of evidence seems to suggest that at least some of the moon landings were faked, and he directed it. Okay. I suppose I'll check that out then. So what about this picture that NASA has released recently then? No stars again and no spherical shading. Well, yeah. Also, what's that written in the clouds? Eh? There. Where? There! Just there, look. Look at that. All right, yeah, I see what you mean. What the hell is that doing there? I don't know. You should look into that one yourself. Well, what about this video animation of the moon moving in front of the Earth? Surely that proves that it's a ball, and the moon for that matter. Are you taking the piss? No, you can see it there quite clearly. The moon is moving in front of the ball Earth. Well, if that's what you want to believe, then that's fine. Okay. So 3 photos. Is that the best you can do? Well, we could just do a search on Google Images. There's loads of pictures of the globe. Okay, let's try that then. What about this one? So is that a photo? Doesn't look like a photo. Looks like something that was generated on a computer to me. What about this one? This doesn't look like a photo either. What about this one? That's not a photo. This one? Is that a photo? So do you still think it's a globe then? Well, I can see what you mean, but it just sounds ludicrous. It only sounds ludicrous because that's the response you've been conditioned to have. Ask yourself the question, is it better to assume facts based on what you're told, read, see in pictures, or observe and test with your own senses? Well, yeah, that's a fair point. So if you're saying it's flat, then where's your evidence? I'm not necessarily saying it's flat. I'm just saying that you should question whether or not it's a sphere. There are more things that don't make sense with the ball Earth model, you know. Oh, okay. Like what? Well, number one, when you look outside over a long distance, do you see a curve? Well, no, but the Earth is massive, isn't it? Surely we wouldn't be able to see a curve. We're like ants on a beach ball. Well, assuming the Earth is a ball, we can use a fairly simple maths equation to calculate what the curve of the Earth is based on its radius of 3,959 miles. So in this formula, L is the length from the observer to the observed object. X will be the expected curvature over that distance. Okay, so what you're saying is that over 1 mile, the Earth would curve by 8 inches down? Yeah. Then 2 miles is 32 inches, 3 miles is 72 inches, 4 miles is 128 inches, and so on. Okay, well, we should be able to test that then. Yes, good idea. So you still haven't given me any evidence that the Earth is in a globe. Thinking about it, if it's not a globe, then where's the South Pole? Are you saying the South Pole doesn't exist? No. On the assumption that reality is closer to a flat model than the globe model, the South Pole is a border that surrounds the whole plane. Oh, right. Well, at least that explains why you wouldn't fall off the edge then. Yes. Have you heard of the Antarctic Treaty? No, I don't think I have, but I suppose you're going to tell me about it. Well, it was established by the USA and the leading global nations in 1959. Essentially, it's a treaty which protects the Antarctic from any activity apart from scientific research. What, you mean the Americans and the Russians were in cahoots? What about the space race and the Cold War? Yes, that's a whole different discussion. Do your own research on that one. Oh, okay. Anyway, the Antarctic has been out of bounds since the treaty was agreed in the early 60s. The only people that go there are scientists and researchers. You can go there on holiday or visit, but it's really expensive. Check that out for yourself. Okay, I will. So why do you think that the treaty was implemented? Well, it's difficult to say for sure, but clearly they're trying to protect something. I don't believe there is anywhere on Earth of that size that is that well protected. There was a US explorer called Richard E. Byrd, or commonly known as Admiral Byrd, who spent several decades exploring the area on and off, starting from the late 30s. One particular piece of information that he reported that was in the public eye was the large volume of natural resources that he discovered. If you had shale gas in your back garden, what do you expect would happen? They'd probably come and drill it out. Yeah, exactly. So there's something fishy about the Antarctic, basically. What do you suppose he found? I'm not sure. I think that's still up for grabs as far as researching is concerned. Some people speculate that he found the edge of a dome that covers the Earth, but that is pure speculation at this stage, really. Wow, that's insane. Yeah, it's pretty out there, isn't it? So, what else? This is getting really interesting. Well, another issue with the globe relating to the Antarctic is the flight paths the airliners take. What do you mean? Well, if you look into it, there are very few flights that fly over or near the Antarctic. Yes, but that could just be because of the danger of crashing. Well, yeah, but they fly over the Arctic. Oh, true. While we're on the subject of planes, what about the fact that the globe is supposedly spinning? Yeah, come to think of it, I've always thought it was strange that we don't feel it. Yes, given the size of the globe, the speed someone on the equator would move is around 1,000 miles per hour. Crikey. So if a plane takes off the Earth and it's spinning below it in the opposite direction, then the plane should benefit from a plus 1,000 mile an hour boost. Yeah, I guess so. Never thought of that. Isn't the reason we don't feel it down to general relativity, though? Well, imagine this. You're spinning on a roundabout at the park. What happens when you jump in the air? You gradually slow down and stop spinning, but the roundabout carries on beneath you. Exactly. Here's another one regarding aircraft. If an aircraft travels on the same trajectory, then why wouldn't it fly into space as the Earth curves away from it below? Well, surely they have onboard computers on the plane, or even the pilots would account for that and make manual corrections. Apparently not, but I agree it needs more research. Have you ever looked out of the window when you've been on a plane at 20,000 feet and observed the horizon? Yeah, it always looks pretty flat. What about on the beach? What does the horizon look like there? Yeah, same again. Maybe it's just not far enough up though. Okay, well, what about the footage of the Red Bull jump? There you go. There's the curve. Haha. Yes, the first clip shows a curve, but that's clearly using a curved lens, and that's what's creating the effect. If the Earth was curved, as it's shown in that picture, then it would be far smaller, surely. Look at the picture in the cabin. Flat. Wow. There's stacks of footage out there of amateur balloon and rockets that have been sent up with a camera attached. Just bear in mind that the ones using a GoPro or similar camera lens will cause the horizon to curve unnaturally. Also, notice how the horizon always comes up to eye level. Same on land or in the air. Surely, if there was a curve, the horizon should drop as you move up higher. Okay, I've got you now. What about the water travelling in the opposite direction down the plug hole? Do you actually know that's true? Okay, but what can I look at to look into this myself? Do your own research. For example, there are stacks of channels on YouTube covering this subject. But more importantly, get out there and find out for yourself. Try some experiments, share your findings with others so that we can all find out the truth. So there you go. In this context, the actual shape of the Earth isn't the most relevant point for me. It's deeper than that. Questioning something so fundamental as this makes you question everything. And rightly so. How do you really know what's true and what's not? Can you believe everything you were taught at school, or you see on the TV, or even reading books for that matter? Are we all just hypnotised into thinking that our reality is something it's not? Cue the Matrix music. Or think of it this way: unlearn what you have learned. Or if you prefer, follow Alice into Wonderland. Anyway, moving on. Taking all of the above into consideration, we decided that the best way to address this was for us to go and observe and test it for ourselves. So we packed up our tent, sleeping bags, and headed off to the south coast of England for a jolly old weekend in the sun in Weymouth.